Guys, welcome back to a brand new edition of Full Time Reds. Thank you very much for everyone that's tuning in, watching, showing love across all socials. We didn't do a show yesterday or on Sunday. There's not enough words. There are not enough words out there that are left to describe Manchester United. So I wanted to do a bit of a different show. In today's show, we're going to do something really different. I'm going to go through the Man United squad, who I feel should leave, and which players we should keep. I know the news brought yesterday that Ineos have basically put everyone up for sale, bar 2-3 of them. So we're going to have a look into that. If you've not subscribed, do subscribe. Please leave us a comment. Please help us grow. Very much appreciated. Right, let's get into it. I'm just going to go over the game of Burnley. I'm sure loads of people have covered it already. There's not much. What else can you add to what already has happened or what's not been said? Poor tactical setup, poor players. We always look like we're going to concede. We look like we get the ball to the final third. We don't know what to do. We have wingers that keep coming in and taking space from our striker, and he can't get into the game. Liverpool have a similar problem as well. I was discussing this with some friends last night, and where the inverted wingers are causing Nunes issues as well. And we just don't seem to have any answers. Teams really fancy it against us. Last week, basically, we played Sheffield United, Burnley and Coventry, I think was the fixtures. And they're all championship teams and we struggled. And that's where we are. Questions need to be asked about everyone, from the manager across to the players, and what is going on. And I'm not surprised, like I've said before, with these Thomas Tuchel and rumours floating around. But look, it is what it is. There's not much more point going into it, boring you guys with fucking this should have been done and why is this guy running here and why is it a huge gap? It's been covered and it keeps happening. It's going to happen for the next 4 league games and the FA Cup final. That's how we're going to play. That's how it's going to go down. That's how it's going to end. And each team's going to have 20 shots. So let's move on from that. Right. So in today's episode, what I wanted to do was I wanted to kind of go through the Manchester United squad and look at who I feel we should be keeping and who should we be selling, and just going through their stats and what they've done and what they haven't done and kind of go into it. So it's something a bit different. I've never done something like this before. So please bear with me, in case there's any technical issues. But yeah, let's get into this. So let's start with Heaton, squad goalkeeper. He's been here for a couple of years, as you can see by his stats. He doesn't really play. Whether he stays or not doesn't make much difference to the team whatsoever. So we'll just put him down as a sell. Onana. I think Onana has had a good season. He started a bit shaky. And he started a bit shaky. And in the last 2 games, he had made a mistake. He gave a penalty against Burnley and the pass against Sheffield United. But overall, I think he's a very good keeper. When you have a ball-playing goalkeeper, in my opinion, they all make mistakes. I've watched a lot of Alisson. I've watched a lot of Edison as well. They all make mistakes. So there's no keeper out there who's a great shot stopper and great with his feet and he doesn't make mistakes. So, unless somebody can show me a better keeper, and people might go on about Costa at Porto. But again, I've seen him make loads of mistakes. So I think for what's out there, he's been good. I think we should stay with him, we should back him, and we should help him become a better player as a team. Bayanda, I think, he's been here. Clearly, the manager doesn't fancy him. And I think he will be sold as well. Or if we can keep him for one more season as a backup, I think he would be good. So from the point of view of keepers, I think Onana should be our number 1. And ideally, Bayanda should be our number 2. Coming into the defenders, which is an interesting part. Lindelof, he's got a year left after this season, and I think he will stay and just see out his year. He'll probably end up being 4th choice, and I think he's an okay defender. The problem with him is consistency, and he can be hot and cold a lot. But I think we should keep him this season and next season as well. Harry Maguire, I think he's had a phenomenal season. I think he's been very, very good. Very underrated, gone under the radar. Unlike some of our players, he's took the criticism, improved himself, and become very, very good. Against Liverpool, against most teams I've watched him, he's really stood out. Yeah, he has his limitations where he'll take extra few touches. He might get caught out of position. But overall, I think he's been very, very good this season. Hopefully that adds some value to his transfer fee. And I think we should sell him in the summer. I think he could do with a new start. I think he would be great for a team like who sits really deep like West Ham, because he's phenomenal in the air. I don't think there's many better than him in the air. He's very, very good. Yeah, and I think we should sell Maguire. Lisandro Martinez, I think we should keep him, one of our key players last season. He's been very unfortunate with injury this season, and the injuries, he's had a long knee injury, then he's come out and he's had a different injury, so it's not the same injury, but he's a great ball playing centre back, reflects the attitude of the team really well, plays really well, can bring the ball out. I think that he should be our main left centre back. Malacia, who has had a horrid season in my opinion this year, I think he should be given a chance. He didn't cost us much, and when he has played, he has looked very, very good. And I think he should be kept into next season and given a full chance so he can kind of get on with it and prove himself. Rafael Varane, I think the end is here. He's not been offered a new contract. We've not triggered the 1-year extension. When he plays, he's phenomenal, but he just doesn't play enough. As you can see, he's only 21 appearances this season, and the wages he's on, I feel there's more value out there we can get, especially with the pace of the game. It's only going to get more and more faster and physical, and just his body is probably more suited to somewhere like Saudi, Germany, even where it's not as physical as the Premier League. Even France is really physical, but I think we should get rid of Varane. And Diego Dalot, I'm a bit hit and miss on Diego Dalot. I don't think he's a must that we should sell him. I think he's had a really good season, probably one of the players of the season. He's always constantly fit as well, which is always a good thing. He has his flaws, but his game has improved a lot. He's somebody I think we should keep and maybe assess it in a year or so and see how his game develops going forward. But he's got a good attitude, and overall he contributes really well. This season his game has improved a lot, especially with the inverted role that he's been playing. Coming on to Luke Shaw, very a big debate within United fans of Luke Shaw. In my opinion, we should be selling Luke Shaw. We should have sold him a long time ago. I know people say, yeah, he's good, he's great, and he's this and that. But at the end of the day, I think when I worked out his average, he misses about 48% of games every season. He's been here 10 years nearly, or he has just gone over 10 years. We need players that can give us 30, 40 games a season. And he just doesn't do it. He probably is better suited to, again, a less physical type of team league. But for Manchester United, we need players that we can put on the pitch and who can perform for us. And unfortunately, over the last 10 years, he's just not done that. And when he's fit, like I said, he is very good. But I think there are better options out there. A lot of better options. Wan-Bissaka, another player that I think we could probably look to sell, really. I know it's a bit, should we keep him? Should we not? Should we? He's good in one-on-ones, but that's about it, and there's most of the time what we want to do, we want to implement ourselves onto the other team, and he just doesn't give you anything going forward. He's very restricted, as in he can only play right back. With Dalot, at least he can play both sides. And going forward, he just doesn't have enough, unfortunately. And he's probably, again, better suited to a team that defends more. Whether we can do a deal in the summer where he goes back to Palace and as part of the Elise deal, I don't know. I know Inter have looked at him. Saudi have looked at him. Wherever he goes, he'd be a very good defender, especially for a team like Inter. But maybe they can turn him into a centre-back, I don't know. But he's not good enough for Manchester United. And I think he should be sold. Johnny Evans, a great surprise this season. When we signed him, I thought, bloody hell, Johnny Evans. But I never rated Johnny Evans when he was at United before, but he's come back a much, much better player. He's more composed on the ball. He doesn't start waving his hands out as he used to, which used to really piss me off. But overall, he's been really, really good. But because of his age, I'm a bit 50-50. I don't mind keeping him if we can't get another centre-back as like a fifth option or a fourth option. But otherwise, we should look to move him on or put him into a coaching role. He's been a great servant to the game at Manchester United, and he's been a great professional this season. So, yeah, sell or move him into a coaching role. The younger lads I'm not going to do because they've not played enough games. Willie Kambala is one that's not on here, but I think he should somebody we should keep and try next season. At least give him 20 games minimum and see how he gets on and how we can develop him as well. So we should keep him. Coming into midfield, Bruno Fernandes, our captain, he's always there. I know he splits opinions, but I think we should keep Bruno Fernandes because he offers a lot. You know, it's great. If all our team had Bruno Fernandes' attitude and stayed fit like him, we'd probably be up there winning the league. But unfortunately, we don't. He has his flaws, but I think overall, as a 10, he's very, very good. And we should look to start putting plans in place to replace him. But at the moment, we shouldn't look to replace him straight away. Keep him there next season. Build on him. He's coming up to 29-30, but we should in the background start looking at who we should be looking to bring in to replace him. I think Mount's there. I think Mount could do a good job at 10, and you could move Bruno to 8 as well. Because if you look at games towards the end, he drops really deep, and I think he could play that role. And put him out further up. But I think we should keep Bruno Fernandes. Great stats, great player when he's on it. Yeah, he should be kept. Christian Eriksen, again, he's just not played enough this season. And you can see he very rarely plays 90 minutes. I feel the game's gone faster. He's done a good job last season. This season, he's not been fancied. I think he should be moved on. Casemiro's another one who I just don't know what's happened to the guy. Whether his legs have gone, whether there's too much space for him to cover at his age. And the other thing is he just keeps playing rash balls every time you give him the ball. He plays these long balls, like just crossfield balls all the time. And he doesn't really, and they get turned over because Rashford doesn't fancy it. And I think Casemiro should be moved on as well, especially the type of money he's on at the age. If we can move him on, it'd be great. But I'm not against keeping him in the squad. But I think somebody like Casemiro is going to want to play every game. And I don't think next season we can give him every game. Scott McTominay, I think we should keep, in my opinion. I think he's always fit, gives you goals, great player off the bench. He's not a good player when you're putting him from the starting lineup and you're putting him in a position that he cannot play, which is a deep lying 6 or 8. He is somebody you bring on if you need a goal, you're down, you want to freshen it up a little bit, and you play him higher up the pitch, 10, striker, whatever, and that's where he plays really, really well. I was watching one of his interviews, and he was saying at the time that he was actually a striker, and they turned him into a midfielder, and I think that's where he's probably suited best, getting in the box, late runs, and I think we should keep him because unless we can get 70 million for him, I don't think we should be selling him. Conor Gallagher's being quoted at 50 million. Conor Gallagher is not a very good player. You know, he is just not. And if he's going to go for 50, Scott McTominay is a 70 million pound player, in my opinion. Kobe Menu, nothing needs to be said about him. Definitely should be staying, playing more games. I don't think we should play him every game because he's really young. He needs to be slowly put into the team. I think if we can give him 25 games a season, that's more than enough for him and help him develop. You don't want to burn him out too quick where at the age of 28, 29, he's finished like Rooney was. I think slowly bed him in until he gets to the age of about 21, 22 and then start increasing it. But I think 25 games a season would be good for Kobe Menu and slowly build him up, and he'll be able to work on his weaker side of the game more, develop his game more without the pressure, because at the moment he's the main man. Everyone's saying get Kobe Menu in, you take him off, fans are booing, and I think it's too much pressure for him, and I don't like, we shouldn't be putting that much pressure on him, but the others should be standing up, not a 19-year-old and you're basically saying to him, go on, you run the show. He's not a prime Kaká or Seedorf yet. He might be, But at the moment, let him just develop his game at his own pace. We shouldn't put that much pressure on him. So definitely keep Kobe Menu. Mason Mount, I'm a big fan of Mason Mount. I think once he gets fit and gets to run a game, this guy's deadly. He can play short. He's very good at dictating the pace, goals, bringing plays into play. Very good at number 10. And very different to Fernandes, who constantly looks to get people and create chances. He's very good at recycling, keeping the ball moving, keeping it short, bringing players out of position, scoring goals. Phenomenal player. Great signing for Manchester United. And I think he's somebody that we should definitely keep and look to build the team around. Amrabat, fucking hell. I was watching a video by Stephen Howson who said we've seen 3 different Amrabats, one that plays for Morocco, one that plays for Fiorentina, and the one that plays for Man United. And if we could get the Morocco one, he'd be deadly. But I think it's not worked out. The manager doesn't fancy him, and he'll probably go back to Fiorentina. I'm just going to mention Omari Forson, who I've seen a couple of times. I think this guy's a really, really good player. Somebody we should look to incorporate into the team next season. Good player, good work energy, good work ethic, good technique as well. Somebody to keep your eye on next season. Coming to the forward line and the wingers now, we're very overloaded with the wingers. Very, very overloaded on the winger side. We've got that many fucking wingers, but they're all mostly shit as well. But okay, let's get into this. Martial, time's up. He needs to go. Thinks he's a 9, but he's clearly not a 9. He's probably a left winger at best. That's where he's had the most success. Struggles to stay fit. Probably overstayed his welcome by a couple of years, but like I said, he doesn't play enough, doesn't offer enough when he does play. He's a very moody player. If he's in the mood, he'll think this guy's fucking prime, Iron Robin. And when he's not in the mood, he looks shit. And he's most of the times he's not in the mood. So I think he should be moved on. Rashford, from what I've heard, he's been playing with a lot of injuries, and they want him to play, and he doesn't say no. I think, in my opinion, forget how he's played this season. I've been critical of him from a professional point of view. I think he just needs a newer challenge, a different league, where he can go and just try something different. Because I think with Rashford, like I've said before, I think he's a decent to good player, but he's not an exceptional player. He's not a Riyad Mahrez, Mohamed Salah, Vinicius Jr., Mbappe. He's just not at that level, but that's what us United fans think he is. He does give you glimpses of that, but it's not enough. He reminds me a lot of Wilfred Zaha, that on his day you think, wow, why is this guy not smashing it more? But he just isn't that player. And he really relies on without a left back giving him a lot of options, overlaps. He does really struggle. And I think his body language doesn't help the cause. And I think for what he's on and the money he's on as a senior player, I think he's somebody that should give more, but I don't think he can. I think a move elsewhere would work really well for him, whether that's PSG, Chelsea, I don't know, anywhere, but United. So I think he should be moved on in the summer. Coming on to Anthony, I think excuse me, excuse me. When I looked at Omar Barada's interview where he said we only give players 2 seasons, I think he'll be the first to get the chop. His game's just not evolved enough, and I think in the Premier League where everyone's really, really sharp and really teams are, even like somebody like Sheffield United, are tactically very good. They figured out you just bring him on the inside, he doesn't offer much. Now, some players only had the one trait, like Iron Robin, but it was very hard to stop because he was that good. But Anthony isn't that. So if you're only going to have the one trait, you need to be exceptional at it, but he just doesn't give you that. Physically, he looks really weak to me as well. He doesn't look strong enough to compete in the Premier League. So I think he should be moved on, whether that's a loan or a sale. We're going to cut our losses. We'll probably get 20 million for him. It is what it is. And he's just got to move him on. Garnacho, I think definitely we should be keeping him. But again, I don't think he should be playing that many games. He's really young, 25 games a season. Slowly embed him into the team. where he's not under pressure all the time to be the main winger and to keep turning it on, because he's really young yet. At the moment, you've seen inconsistency in his decision making as well, where he'll make the wrong decision or he'll try scoring himself. And I think that needs to be coached into him. With time, I think he could be an exceptional player, but I don't think he should be a main winger. But again, giving him 25 games a season would be a good start, slowly building him up. Coming on to Amad Diallo, I'm I'm a bit 50-50 on him. I don't think he's as good as some make him out, but I think he's probably better than what we have. But I think somebody like him, if we were to hire a manager like Thomas Tuchel, somebody like him would really fancy Amad Diallo because he's very technical. But I think he's been here that long. He's going to want to run a games. He's going to want to say, I want to play first team games. And I don't think we can give him enough games, especially if we're looking at Olise as well. So I think for his sake, he should be moved on, and where he can go and play regular, develop his game, and become a better player. Scholler, again, he's not played enough. Maybe start looking at him next season, embed him into the team and see how he gets on. Rasmus Højlund, I'm a big fan of, but we just don't give him the ball enough. I think the game against Burnley, Onana gave him more passes than our wingers, which kind of says it all, whether that's a coaching issue, whether they've been instructed to do that. But I think he should be kept. But I think the team needs to start providing him with some service. He can't work off scraps and he can't be working on creating his own chances. We need to give him the ball. We need to help him create. We need to help him score goals. Strikers win you games. And that's the key for us moving forward. We'll probably add in a few more next season as players. But I just wanted to do a video on the squad that I think we should keep and sell. Like I've gone through pretty much. There's probably more than half that we're going to look to get rid of next season. I'll do a video on potential transfers, who I think players that we should be looking to bring in who can replace these, but I didn't want to make it too long. If you've not subscribed, please do subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the support. Catch me on the next one. Thank you.